What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another video, and today we're going to talk about who else? Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, man. What a day yesterday was with the contract being announced. Finally signed, sealed and delivered. He signed the thing. New 3-year contract with Arsenal. Basic wage of £250,000 a week, but with bonuses and incentives rising to £375,000 a week, making him the highest paid player in Arsenal history, going past Mesut Ozil. And well deserved. And you know, all the content that came out yesterday was fantastic, man. I mean, started off with the announcement video that was great, you know, with like the mask and the timer with the sand in it. And then obviously you see Aubameyang on the pitch. He announces the contract's done. And then this interview came out later in the evening with Aubameyang and Ian Wright. I mean, if you haven't seen that, go onto Arsenal's YouTube channel. That was just a fantastic interview. 10 minutes, quite serious. You know, just talking about how much it means to him to sign for the club, what the fans mean to him, the connection he's got. And it was so refreshing to hear that, because over the years, let's face it, Arsenal fans, we've been used to losing our best players. It's become a really, you know, difficult subject and an issue to deal with. We kind of understood it when we moved to the Emirates because we needed the money. But the Emirates has been paid off for years, so I could never understand why this was still continuing. How many times have we lost our best player when they're really, you know, peaking in their career? Alexis Sanchez, I mean, funnily enough with Sanchez, his career really dipped after he left. So maybe he went at the right time, but, you know, he was a fantastic player for Arsenal. You look at Van Persie, you know, after years of injury problems and difficulties, he reached his pinnacle and then left, went to United, won the title. You know, Cesc Fabregas, a player that we actually could have bought back. You know, that's a different scenario, but what a great player we lost. Samir Nasri and Adebayor when they were really peaking as well. So for Aubameyang to commit, you know, the last major contract of his career to Arsenal, I just thought was fantastic. And I actually think this can be a turning point in Arsenal starting to progress. Because let's face it, over the past few years, it's been regression. It's got worse. We're falling down the league. And this needs to be the turning point. I think Aubameyang staying sends a clear signal to potential new signings, to the fans, that this club is moving in the right direction. Fans can believe in what's happening, you know. I have to give a massive shout out to Mikel Arteta. One of the things that I wasn't convinced of when he got the Arsenal job was what would his ability be like to convince players to, number one, join the club, and number two, stay at the club. You know, I thought Aubameyang may think, you know, you're young, you're inexperienced, but he clearly understands the process and the vision. And what I like about it is they must have spoken about transfers. They must have said to Aubameyang, look, we've signed Willian, we've signed Gabriel, Saliba's here, we're going to do more business. We are looking to strengthen, we want to make a marquee signing. So that gives me hope that this transfer window is going to finish in the right way. Now, what do Arsenal need to do? They need to build around Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Do not solely rely on him. I love the fact that Aubameyang scores goals on a consistent basis, but we need to see Lacazette, Willian, Pepe, Ceballos, you know, all these guys, they need to chip in with goals. You look at the best teams, you know, your Liverpools, your Man Cities, they score goals from 2 or 3 players, maybe even 4 or 5 players on a regular basis. That's what Arsenal need to do. We need to improve what we've got. We then have to fix the spine of the team. We've spent money on centre-backs. Saliba's here, Gabriel's here. Fix the midfield and we've got a chance. I still think at the moment, top 4 is going to be very difficult. It's borderline whether we get it. Maybe, maybe not. But make 1 or 2 more big signings and I'll be confident that we can get in there. Aubameyang, it's, you know, 3-year contract. He's 31 years of age. I don't think there's any problem with Aubameyang's age. I see a guy that knows where the goal is, his movement, he's so intelligent. I think at least for the next 2 years, you're still looking at a guy that will be challenging for the Golden Boot in the Premier League. I mean, you look at Jamie Vardy, I think he's 32, 33. He's just won the Golden Boot in the Premier League. There's no reason Aubameyang can't do the same. You've also got to look at the fact Aubameyang plays for Gabon. Now, Gabon don't really reach major international tournaments. So Aubameyang hasn't played like, you know, 120 games, you know, for his country, and he's kind of burnt out, which you get with a lot of players in the latter stage of the career, you know. You saw that with the likes of Rooney, he made it at such a young age. He'd played so many games for club and country that, you saw the burnout. So I think Aubameyang will be fine for 2, potentially 3 years of that contract, still as a top player. Where does he play? Does he play on the left or through the middle? He must enjoy playing on the left. I moaned about him playing on the left. I thought, he could have scored more through the middle. People say he's not good enough with his back to goal. He's better coming off that left-hand side. Maybe that's the best scenario for him. Seems to have a good little partnership with Tierney as well. For me now, I think Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, I know he's playing on the left, but I still consider him like a striker. I think he's the best striker in the Premier League. I think for years it's clearly been Sergio Aguero. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think Aubameyang now has gone above Kane and above Aguero. I think Kane, too many injuries. He's really suffering with that. I think Aguero as well, and he consistently gets 20, but how often does Aguero, go to 25, 30 and win the Golden Boot in the Premier League? Not that often, really. I think Aubameyang now is the best striker in the Premier League. And I actually would go as far as to say, I think Aubameyang is now an Arsenal legend. I think him signing that contract makes him an Arsenal legend. He stayed at the club when we need him most, when he's at such a level that he could have gone to Inter Milan, he could have gone to Barcelona. I even heard rumours that Chelsea and Man United were looking at him as well. Chelsea before they got Werner. He's committed to Arsenal. I think he becomes a legend. I think he'll be going down as one of the best strikers that have been at Arsenal since probably Thierry Henry and Wrighty in those days, and Anelka. So let me know what you guys think. Number 1, how happy are you with Aubameyang signing? Number 2, what do we have to do and build around him to get Arsenal back to where we need to get to? And number 3, I know it's a bit quick to say it, but is Aubameyang now an Arsenal legend, a modern legend, He hasn't done what Wrighty and Anelka, well, not Anelka and Henry have done. But to me, committing yourself to Arsenal at a time like this, with the level of ability he's had, it makes him a legend in my eyes when others have walked away and left us, in the lurch. Sanchez said after one day he wanted to come back, but hey, too little too late. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, new 3-year contract, best striker in the Premier League for me. So glad he's signed for Arsenal. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel. Keep it locked here on Curtis Shaw TV. Bless.